Hello everyone, Chuckles here. Quick one tonight because I have a lot left to get to still yet tonight and then big full day tomorrow. So I'm just going to run down what happened today. There was the production conference, so I finally got to go, as I said. Didn't go my first time even though I could have because it happens on the first of the last 3 days. So I didn't go my first time here though because I was just new to all this and I was just walking around talking to all the companies. And then the last time I went, I had to meet with Miyuki, and that was a very fruitful meeting. So I'm glad that I skipped down the production meeting that time. This time I went, and the moderator, Paul Hertzberg, president and CEO of Cinetel Films Incorporated, said, and I realized when I saw the first segment, producing for the international pre-sale marketplace, I was like, oh dear. And I basically knew what he was going to say, which was, yeah, so this segment is kind of shouldn't happen. I mean, this segment really shouldn't be a thing. I keep asking Jonathan Wolf, the head of the AFM, you really want to do this segment again? Because people really shouldn't do this. Pre-sales are dead. But they still had a lot of insightful things to say. Pre-sales, international pre-sales, getting your film picked up by a international distributor saying that I will put this much money down for showing your movie to this country, and therefore you can use that. Initially, doesn't barely happens anymore. It still happens, but it's not what it used to be. And that, as they said, because of the changing landscape and the streaming services taking over and all that, used to be that international pre-sales are where most of the funding was for indie producers completely outside the studio system, but that's not really the case anymore. But that was a good discussion. Still, I will have more to say about. Like again, I'm just going to go quickly because there's stuff to get to, and I will cover it all in more detail in a upcoming vlog. But then casting for a Greenlight, which it's funny. Basically, everything that they said in casting for a Greenlight, like that was, as Jonathan Wolf himself, he comes up on stage and introduces every single segment during the AFM. Well, not every single one, because some of them happened at the same time. It just so happens that I've been at every single one that he's introduced, including his own. And that was cool that I got to actually speak to him a little bit afterwards as well. But as he said, this is going to be one of the most important segments we have. Casting for a Greenlight, and indeed it is. And it's all the conferences cost $100, and it's worth it for especially if you have no idea what any of these things are. Some people could argue that I don't know if this was worth $100, but this was worth $100 if you do not have a badge such as this and can get into literally all of them whenever you want, then spending $100 for that particular segment would have been worth it for you, because they had a lot of good things to say about how to get cast interested in your movie if you are an independent. The thing is, it's stuff that I have gradually figured out myself through trial and error, and I haven't been able to approach cast yet until now, because I've been slowly learning what I need to have prepared and all that, and now I've finally done it. I've started to do it. Now as we've mentioned in previous segments, starting to reach out to people who could potentially be in the movie. But this was everything that I've learned over that time. This covered it, and so it's like, wow, this is really valuable. Talking about how to get in contact with agents, talking about how to, utilizing connections, and even if you don't think you have connections, look in this manner and see if you do have a connection, so that you can get around certain channels. Like if you can't, even if you find an agent, they might not want to work with you, but maybe the actor will if you can get them the script. All kinds of good stuff in there. Again, I'm going to go more into it later. But then we were supposed to have our interview, and our interviewer bailed on us. He still hasn't responded to me. I don't know what happened. But that didn't happen. So I gave it 10 minutes. Stood there for 10 minutes, but that was too long. But I didn't have anything to get to right away. So I went to the next seminar after all. The next conference, which was scoring for film, TV, and digital platforms, how and how much. This was basically my way of learning about this kind of stuff that I didn't know, even though I am not a composer and never will be. But it's stuff that I will definitely talk about with Andres. There was a guy there, in fact, who was like, "Hey, I have a composer that I'm working with, and I want to learn what I can from this segment, and he's not here, so I'm gonna get it back to him." I was like, "Hey, that's what I'm doing too." So yeah, they were this company. See, here's the film scoring. There's the panel, and the company is the Film Musicians Secondary Markets Fund, and the Association of Film Musicians, or AFM. It was funny because I'm reading this pamphlet here. I think it's this one. Yes. You can. So it's like if you have an AFM motion picture agreement. I'm like, wait, the AFM has like stuff that you can do for agreements for motion picture that can be scored on an AFM contract. Like AFM contract, what? This market sponsors films, but it's like, oh, American Film. I mean, Association of Film Musicians. So, and then FMSMF, which is a hard thing to say, so you might as well just say Film Musicians Secondary Market Fund. FMSMF. The American Federation of Musicians. American Federation of Musicians, AFM. So the AFM was at the AFM talking about all this stuff, and it's really good information talking about how you can get, through this company, you can get, actually I'll just say it right here, because it's really cool. If you get your film into a contract with the American Federation of Musicians, or the AFM, then you can get for a, and this is great because when talking to composers, I've been like, how do the charges even work? And I discovered through this panel that it's difficult because there is no union for composers. There's union for other crew members, and Kim Roberts, executive director, Film Musicians Secondary Markets Fund. So what I just said, she's the executive director of it, so she's explaining all this, and she explained that she explained the reason why there is no union for composers, even though there is union for other crew members. And I don't remember exactly. It's something having to do with, according to the law, composers are not considered employers under employees. I mean, employees under employers, like people with IATSE or other union crew members are. So they're basically independent contractors, therefore, and therefore there's no standards set. But if your film gets approved with the AFM, then you can get special budget rates for if your film is less than or equal to $45 million, then a single 3-hour session will cost you $221.33. And then if it's 15 million and below, then it'll be $190.30. And if it's below less than or equal to 2 million, it'll be $132. So really good deals to be had if you negotiate with this company. So yeah, I mean, if I can do it, which I'm pretty sure I can, I will definitely do that when it comes time to begin pre-production and begin the process of scoring the movie. So that was that. And then then we did, haha, we did meet with, I described, yes, I talked about Noriko Yuasa. I've seen a lot of Japanese names, as you can imagine. I've never seen Yuasa before. But Noriko Yuasa, she's the one who got up there all brave and pitched her project, even though she could barely get the words out and nobody understood what she was saying. And then I met her later. And she contacted me through my AFM and said, "Hey, you still want to? I noticed you. I'd actually forgotten because she was one of the people that I'd set up meetings with or tried to set up meetings with, but she was one of the people who didn't respond initially, and so then therefore I was focusing on the people who had responded, and therefore I'd completely forgotten that I'd set up a meeting with her. So when I met her in person, it was like I had no idea who she was." Because I'd forgotten that I had actually tried to schedule a meeting with her. And so she actually contacted me and said, "Oh, so I met you last night, but I saw you wanted to schedule a meeting, so let's meet." And so we did. And we had a discussion. Basically, it was a similar thing to, even though it was easier talking to her than talking to the gentleman that Amanda and I talked to back in 2017, because Noriko's English is better, which is to say that guy spoke almost no English. If you remember what I talked about in those videos from 2017, when he was talking to us through a translator app, and we're talking to each other that way. That person and I have the same similar situation that Noriko and I have, which is that Noriko is trying to produce a film that she is not getting the support that she wants from Japan, and therefore she's trying to appeal to the American market. And again, just like I said to the last guy, I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of doing the reverse, except I also want Americans to see my film as well." But it's like a similar type of thing. And so Noriko and I were just commiserating about how difficult it is to find financiers. Although Noriko is connected to Tokyo Film Commission, which we went to right after we talked to her, because it was just, even though we spoke to them in Tokyo last April, I wanted to just quickly talk to them once again and just touch bases. And it's like everyone remembers me, and everyone remembers the project. They're like, "Oh, Yoyaku Yokai, how's that going?" Because it's still, APIE still has it on their, not on their books, but it's like it's on the back burner. They still have, they're right there, and they talk to Tokyo Film Commission. So it's like, "Oh, how's the project going?" Well, and so I was asking them about reminding them about commissions and that kind of thing. So spoke to Motoko Matsumoto, as well as the woman, I forget her name, but the woman that we met in Japan when we went to their offices directly. Motoko, who is she was with the Tokyo Commission's Tokyo Film Commission's booth, and she's in charge of the Tokyo Convention and Visitors Bureau, and she seems to be Spencer's age or younger. So it's fun. She actually made the comment, like, you've gotten to know a lot of Japanese people, haven't you? A lot of Japanese people in the industry. And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I wanted to do." And hopefully I'm going to meet more. I'm in contact with more as we speak. Been emailing, so we'll see what happens. And then after that, I went to the Movie Magic Battle of the Budgeting Experts. As I explained, Movie Magic budgeting, that's what I used for the budget. The budget is good for our purposes now, and just like, here's the budget, but it needs to be, accountant needs to run over it. And the accountants and budgeting people, line producers were all on the panel talking about the ins and outs of budgeting. It was very dry. They were all very personable people, and they all were making it interesting if you're already interested, sort of, or if you know a bit about what they're talking about already. But it was, when Spencer said, I might just sit that one out, and he was like, "Yeah, it's probably not going to be the best for you there." And the biggest thing that I took away from that, the biggest thing that I did not know beforehand was that there is a new Movie Magic budgeting software, because I have the version that you pay for and you put it on your computer. But like every other software out there, Movie Magic is going online and in the cloud, so it's going to be that as well, just like Adobe. I don't know if people who have the version right now, actually now I'm thinking about it, yeah, this is what happened with Adobe as well. Even if you have the older version, you have to now subscribe for the new version online. So I'm not going to do that, at least not right away, because I still have that program on my computer. And I don't use it personally enough myself to justify me getting it again in subscription form. Again, right now. Eventually I will, because I do want to get better at it, even though I'm, again, need an accountant and need to get other people, and the line producer is the one ultimately who gets the budget done every time. But I need to know how to do it myself, and I did it myself, and I need to do better at doing it myself as well. So that was it. And then we went to a French fry place, which come over here and describe that place, and describe how you saw it, and then describe it briefly.
Okay. Well, there's just this. It's basically a food truck, except I don't think it has an engine. It's like a giant cart.
Yeah, it's like a trailer.
Yeah, trailer. That's a good one.
Mobile home.
Yeah.
Well, no, not mobile homes are bigger. It's trailer.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just this trailer, and I first noticed it on just walking to. I got some like breakfast stuff from the grocery store. I noticed it then, and it just has a great big lighted sign above it that says fries. And so I was curious about it. I said, okay, what is all this about? So I just walked by, took a quick glance at the menu while I was on my way to the shoot with Amazon, and yeah, it's just. You can get savory or sweet, and they have different toppings. You can get truffle fries, chili fries, garlic fries, and on the dessert side, like they have pumpkin fries, chocolate fries. I might go back there and try some of the dessert fries. Those look really good.
Pumpkin pie fries are one of those seasonal things that they've got going on.
But yeah.
I'm glad that they say pumpkin pie and not pumpkin spice.
Yes.
Thank you. You're saying it correctly.
Exactly.
It's not pumpkin spice. There is no pumpkin for there is no spice for pumpkin. It's pumpkin pie spice.
Yes. And like I went on a rant like this on my YouTube channel once, I think, but it's like you can use those spices for a lot of other things. Why are we just calling it pumpkin pie spice?
So you might as well just call it pumpkin pie fries, which they do.
Okay. That's about it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh yeah, so tell them what you got.
Yeah, I just got they do turkey chili. So it was very cheesy turkey chili with sour cream and onions on top of it.
And then I got Truffle Lovers fries, which is a big order of fries with truffles and cheese.
Yeah, I tried one. They're really good.
Delicious. So, tomorrow is the last day, Wednesday is the last day, but I doubt there's going to be anything at all happening on Wednesday. Although, back when I did my very first AFM, the last day had all kinds of stuff happening for me in terms of meetings, so maybe that'll happen spontaneously, but for right now, absolutely nothing is happening on the last day, and we might just check out and leave. But Tuesday, which is tomorrow, second to last day, full day of conferences. No meetings scheduled right now, but full day of conferences. We have the distribution conference, which is going to be interesting, because last time I went to the distribution conference, they were talking about similar to what the pre-sales guys were saying, like, yeah, kind of sucks now, so sorry. And last time I went to the distribution conference, they were talking about sales agents and how sales agents' jobs are hard because nobody respects them and sales just suck. So I wonder if this will be a similar thing, a similar tone. But then after that, we are going to boosting your micro budget. Great. Then working with U.S. guilds, which will be very beneficial to Spencer. It was very interesting for me as well, and of course it's beneficial to me as well, but the guilds are, it's the DGA, the SAG-AFTRA, the guilds for actors and filmmakers and what have you. So that's going to be that. And then finally, our last conference of the AFM will be Respecting the Genre, Why Some Horror Films Work While Others Don't, which I'm very excited about. So, by the way, I mentioned these conferences. Yes, as I said, literally every single one of these conferences, I don't think I talked about this really in the last 2 times I went here, but every single conference costs $100, unless you get this badge. And this badge is very expensive, but the thing is, you buy, after you spend $200, after you pay the money for 2 conferences, if there are more conferences after that, then you might as well get this badge and get all the conferences and then go anywhere else you want to, because the value decreases if you're just going to spend $100 on each conference. Correction, that's if you're going for the full week, which means you're going to get the Executive or the Executive Plus or the Platinum badge, which, like I said, a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. But if you are getting one of those expensive badges that gets you in for which means you're going for the full week, then the Executive badge doesn't include all the conferences. So the Executive badge and a conference, right? Fine. But if there are more conferences than that, then that means you're going to be paying more if you don't just straight up get the Executive Plus badge and then go to all the conferences you want. If you're just going to go there for the last 4 days, and I've been saying in these vlogs, thinking back on it, I was like, oh, that was wrong, but too late now. I kept saying, oh, I was there for the last 3 days, and I was there for the last 4 days the first time I went. I just always think it's the last 3 days because I look at my videos and it's like day 1, day 2, day 3 is what I labeled them as, even though it was day 4, 5, and 6. But then I made a vlog, not called Day Anything, I just made a vlog called AFM, I think, after that. And that was covering the final day, which was the 4th day. So every time I say, I spent the last 3 days here, my first time, it's the last 4 days. And with those, you get the industry badge or the Industry Plus badge. So it's like the minor and the major. The Industry and the Industry Plus, those are for the last 4 days. And then the Executive and the Executive Plus, that's for the full week. And in both cases, the plus includes the conferences. So Industry badge, you're there for the last 4 days. Industry Plus, you're there for the last 4 days and can go to whatever conferences are in those last 4 days. Executive, full week. Executive Plus, full week, and all the conferences for the entire week. Okay? Day badge, nothing. You're just there for the day, and then if you want to, you pay for whatever conferences you want. So that's the deal. So we've now gone to, I don't think it's $1,000 now, but let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yes, we've gone to 11. So far, we've gone to $1,100 worth of conferences, and then the last 5 of them will be four of them tomorrow. So there you go. That's it for now. I will be, of course, I'm very proud of myself now. Of course, it helps that I'm not actually editing these videos and getting them out online. But I could have done that if I wasn't busy doing other things during the night. Hopefully next time I do this, I'll be able to actually get them out. Get them out live like last time. Sorry. This is what I've been doing the entire AFM. Like, while conferences are happening, while people are talking to me, I'm like, oh, did I get a notification? Yes, I did. Aha. So I'm glad that I'm able to actually record. Even though I'm not getting them out day in, day out, like I have the last 2 times, I have done what I haven't done before and recorded one for every single day. So I'm proud of myself. And hopefully next time it will be both. I will record one every single day and get them out that night. For now, whenever you're seeing this, I hope you will enjoy the content to come. For now, good night.